Okay guys, a few of my students have asked me to make a video about some of my practice routines and methods, and these ideas I've learned over the years from other people. Some of it didn't come from the music, it was from my years in archery and training for that, but it translates really well to here. And I haven't seen too many videos about this kind of a subject or topic, so I'm going to go into that. So here we go. So what you really need is a notebook. Now I know some people like to do everything digitally with their phones or their tablets or whatever, but this is a little old school, but boy it works, and please feel free to modify it. You'll also need some writing utensils. I prefer different colors to help me keep organized here and how this works. And of course the good old trusty pencil. Alright, so you have yourself a notebook. In your notebook, the first thing I like, and this is why it's taped, because these are my goals. This is what I want to be working on in the upcoming future. It could be short-term, long-term, it's up to you. For instance, I'm going to be working on a Clark solo once per month. That tries to keep me, motivated to keep working on it. Complete the JL Small Etude book. I'm about halfway through with that one. The Smith Characteristic Studies, about one per month. I try to do that, and you can read some of the other ones. I got some fun ones here too, like Bridge Over Troubled Water, the Maynard-Ferguson arrangement, the Brandenburg Concerto No. 2 for my piccolo. And over here is my basics of my practice routine that I'm using right now. Now again, I put it on paper like this, so I can change it as my needs change or I find something better. Okay, so you see I have, I start with a lead pipe and the mouthpiece, long tones, articulation, whatever. Whatever works for you, you'll find out. But this keeps me honest and keeps me organized, okay? Then the next part, I write down things I've learned that help me to come back, especially if I am, off with or something, or I develop a bad habit. Ideas I picked up, like I like this one, goal, to make a beautiful music without the discomfort of being a trumpet player. So little notes like that is what I write in there. Okay? Now, let me show you the back of the book. All right, sorry I had to pause there. I need two hands to do that. This is the back of the book. This is where I mark where I've reached my goals, what they were, and when I reached them. For instance, the W.M. Smith, when I worked on that, there's the first etude. I was able to complete it fairly proficiently on the 25th of January of this year. And so you see how I can progress. The same thing with my Clark solos. And this kind of keeps me motivated to see where I'm going. We have to realize it's not where you started, it's where you're going. And then, of course, I have some of my fun ones over here. We're talking about that, if I can get this thing to focus here. There we go. Bridge Over Troubled Water, Maynard-Ferguson. I got that one completed on the 29th of April. So as I fill in more of my goals, I will be putting them in here. So this is kind of very motivational for me. Okay, now I'm going to turn to some pages and show you what the daily practice looks like. I'll have to pause it. Okay, so this is what I do, and it works for me. And you can change it however you need to, but the idea is just to share some ideas and get started. So first off, I put the date, the day, and my equipment, what I'm playing on, what kind of trumpet, mouthpiece, whatever. I play different kinds of trumpets, from cornets, flugels, piccolo, whatever, based on the gigs that I have. Okay, in green, I put my setup and my warm-up routine that I'm using for that day based on my needs. So for instance, here I did the lead pipe exercises, the key of the week. That's what the KOTW is, key of the week. It's a bunch of exercises I found online that are absolutely fantastic. Takes you through some of the Clark, the Arbans, articulations, whatever. And that was the key of C this week. And the Frank Manier method for flexibilities and upper register. Over to the right is in red. That's my sight reading. I try to do a little bit of sight reading every day, and it shows me where I'm at. Here I was doing sight reading out of a Brubank intermediate book, and it was page 22. All right, now, the orange color. If I write it in orange, that means that is a piece of music I'm working on for a concert or a gig. So you can see I did trumpet voluntary number 1 through a run-through. Then I did trumpet voluntary number 2 through a run-through. Okay? And the trumpet voluntaries, I know that I think they are done by Mr. Wallace. They're a different version. This is for a church gig. Then I have the J.L. Small etudes. I worked on 9, 10, 11, and 12. 12 was a lot of fun, especially on the piccolo. So I should have put over here that I was working on my piccolo trumpet, but I didn't do that. Okay? Then on Saturday, getting ready for the concert, because my concert was Sunday, I just did a little bit of lead pipe playing. That's all I did, just to stay loose. Then the day of the concert, I did lead pipe, long tones, Clark 2. And here's my concert. I did it in pink so I could see it. Concert at the Presbyterian in West Alexander. That's my old hometown. Here are the pieces that we're playing at the concert. And here are some of my notes. I made a recording of it. I was tremendously pleased. This is what keeps me motivated, because it sees what I'm doing during a concert that lets me know that, hey, this was working. You know, and if I turn back pages, you can see, you know, just at a glance, what I'm working on here and what's leading to that. So it's a process. And I can always keep turning back to see, hey, that was a great concert. What was I doing leading up to that concert? Or on the other hand, hey, I had a rough time at the concert. What was I doing leading up to the concert? Was there any glitches? Is there something I could add to it? So basically, this is just a general format to use. Get as much information down as you can, but make it simple in that it's easy to spot. Like I said, blue, that's something I'm working on. That's a goal. It's just an exercise. Red for me, that's sight reading. Orange, that is pieces that I'm working on for a concert. Or if I was still in school, that would be like jury music or something like that. Green is my warm-up. What I'm using, a casual double C on this one. That's a great method too, especially for focusing the chops. My equipment in the day. Okay? So I hope that helps, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.